Hello, my convicts and convict cats. Just a decided up convict bringing you guys and gals that tech video I wanted to do. So I wasn't too sure what I changed or what it was that had affected anything. So I kind of wanted to double check that first, but I didn't really want to go back to the start either. So it's kind of, what do I do? So I had a guess of what it might have been. And I've actually, luckily, had a good guess and I've actually caught what it is. So without further ado, here we go. So today's video is my optimization guide. It's a very, very short one, so very easy to do. That actually helped my connection be really, really good. So without further ado, let me explain, let me show you, and then obviously I'll show you the results on there as well. So first of all, we're going to go here to the web browser and we're going to open a web page, which I'll put in the description down below. So you just need to copy and paste it, which is waveform.com/tools/bufferbloat, which is up here. Again, it's copied, it's in the description. You just need to go down there and click it. So just to show you, I've just done this test just now. So let's have a quick look at this and then I'll show you what happens when you don't have this on. So you can see I've got a grade of A+. You can see here I've got all of mine ticked, even low latency. And you can see I've got a 12 millisecond ping, my usual ping, but you can see these two. Now, what these basically represent is download and upload active. It's your connection under strain, under use, or having other applications and stuff running in the background. I've got about 5-6 devices that are connected on the line right now, and Rio is using YouTube upstairs. So as you can see here, I've got 0 and 0 for latency, so there's absolutely no variation. What this website is supposed to do, if you read it, it's supposed to do a connection test, and during the download and upload test, it will give you these different percentiles, which you can see at the bottom here. Hopefully I'm not covering that. Let me use, where's my webcam? Let me make my webcam disappear for now. Webcam. So you get these percentiles here. You get 0.3 jitter, 0.3 jitter, and 0.3 jitter. Can you see? These are basically all the different tests I've done, and this is the result at the bottom. If you get really, really bad jitter, then obviously it's going to add a plus and then whatever number it's going to add on top of that because of obviously your connection. So that is what we get here. But you can see here I've actually got a lot lower speed than what I would normally get on my connection because I actually get 900 down, 900 up. And that's generally my connection because I'm on a 1 gigabit fiber connection. However, obviously, as I've said, and as people should know, the key to having good latency is to actually lower your download. If you've ever had a net doomer or anything like that, and you've ever done something called congestion control, a lot of the times with devices like that, you basically lose some raw speed in order to have latency, and that's how it works. You're bringing down your overall download speed, and then you're getting raw latency from that. So, how to fix this? How do we fix this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's using a tool that I'm going to open up right now, which is called SG TCP Optimizer. Some people may have used this in the past. It definitely does do what it's supposed to do. When you get it, you'll get it in a download. I'll show you where the download is. Again, that'll be in the description. Go to your downloads, go find the tool. You may need to unzip it. And then the tool will look like this when I can find it. Where's it gone? Like this. You need to click, you need to right click, you need to run as administrator and then open it. And then it'll give you the prompt to say, obviously, you're opening this as an admin. But yes, and then this will bring up this small little tiny box thing that you see here in front of you. I've actually done mine, so I've minimized it and added it to taskbar and then just gone into properties as well. If you go into properties on the device, you can get it to open as a admin each and every time. By doing that, all you need to do is just click on the exe file, right click, go to properties, and then when you go to compatibility, just click where it says run as administrator, put a tick in there, apply, and then OK. And then every time you open the device, it will actually open it as a admin. You'll never have to right click it because sometimes if you forget and if you click on it, you've got to wait for it to finish the load and it'll give you an error prompt saying not run this as administrator. So whatever changes you do will not apply to this device or will not apply. So when you come here and you want to make changes, all you do is select your family controller or whatever your Ethernet driver is. Mine is the Realtek Gaming 2.5 GBE family controller. And then what you want to do is move the slider all the way over to the max that it can go to, which is 100 megabits per second. And then go to the word custom. And then you just need to make some changes. So you can change them to you if you want to change them to you. I'm not going to do that because you don't have to. And then you just need to follow along with this. Now I've had to take a photo screenshot of this because it was a guy that followed and I can't remember the actual numbers. So I'm just going to quickly do this and then show you. Right. So follow along with this. And this is what you need to do. So you need to go to the top one and you want to disable for the window auto tuning. You want to disable the one underneath, which is disabled. The congestion control provider, you want it to be under CTCP. CTCP. Okay. Underneath that one, you want to disable, and you want to disable the bottom one as well. Okay. Once you've disabled them two, then you want to go over to the right hand side. You want the time to live to be 64. This basically is how long the packet should exist for in the world. So if it goes, it gets lost after 64, it will then basically kill itself and then it'll retransmit if it needs to, if that packet got lost. And then you want enabled for this one. You want disabled, 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 and the bottom one to be enabled. So just as it shows here. And then you want to go over to advanced. Click on advanced. And I'll just double check these numbers are correct because sometimes the numbers don't change on here. Right. So now what you need to do is follow along with this one. So the top one here for the connections wants to be 10. The one underneath this also wants to be set to 10 as well. And you've got these ones under here. You want it to be set as 4. And then 5. 6. And 7. Then the one underneath you want it to be as 2. You want this one to be set as disabled. You want this set to 2000. And leave the one underneath because that's correct at 300. You want QoS be set to 0. You want the other one underneath to be set to optimal 1. You want disabled for this one, which is all the Fs. You want gaming, which is 0. You want this one to stay as default, this to stay as default, this to stay as default. So don't touch them ones, leave them as they are. You want the one underneath to be enabled 1. And then you want this one to be optimized 3. And then you want this to be set as 65535. Again, that's 65535. And the one underneath for the TCP timed wait delay, you want to set this to 30. And then you want to apply. Now, this will obviously apply changes. You can create a backup if you want and create a log. Completely up to you. Decide if you want to do that. And then you want to press OK. Once you do this, it will apply all these changes. And then it'll ask you if you want to reboot. You do need to reboot in order for this to work. I'm just going to put no for just a second, just so I can stop the recording just for a moment and then restart the recording once it's rebooted because I'm on a single PC setup. But just to show you them, so it's only these two you need to touch. So again, just to show you here, so pause it here if you need to and make sure these are exactly as it shows here. Okay. And do the same for this one. Pause it here, make sure these are all the same. Okay. Once you've done that, you can exit out of this. And what I'm going to do now is stop the recording and then I'll restart the recording. Obviously, do all the editing bit. So see you in just a moment. Right, so here we go. We are back. Let me just quickly bring up the webcam again. There we go. Excuse Rio. Rio is here with me right now. It was upstairs a minute ago. So we're back now. And I've put my webcam back on. We can now open that program for the web page thing again. So go here and then obviously go back to the buffer bloat test. This is the old buffer bloat test. What I recommend to do is do a refresh a couple of times. I'm going to do it twice, and then we can restart the test again. So ignore this test right now. This is the previous test. Let's restart the test again. So we've made those changes. We've applied them. We've restarted the computer, and now we'll have our new test that we can test on. What I recommend doing, I'm going to actually stop this test right now because at the moment it's actually going up as the jitter is 4.9 on here. Even though this is not going to change, what will happen is generally when you do this test, or when you do the changes, I should say, it will take a little bit for your connection to catch back up again and to actually start working at its optimal performance. So what I would suggest you do is when you actually do the test and you actually perform it and then you restart the computer, maybe give it a little bit of time for that connection to kick in, because as with anything, when you unplug your router and plug your router in, what happens? You have to give it time for it to reconnect to the internet. And it's going to be the same for this. When you do this and you obviously make the changes and you restart your computer, if you do the test automatically straight afterwards, it may not give the computer enough time to catch up and resync with the connection again. So I'm going to start the test again, because I want it to be a proper true test. This is a bit like one of the reasons why I don't like web browser applications as well, because web browser applications can be a little bit finicky and a little bit at times. So I don't really trust them 100% to how they behave sometimes, because they can act oddly depending on obviously the server and stuff that you're connecting to. It can cause them to perform with not consistent results. They can be a little bit at times, a little bit up and down. So you have to kind of bear with them. This is why I would love this application. If they could do this application and make it a proper application that doesn't need to be web-based, that would be nice. I would prefer that, but it is what it is. It's just the way it is. And there you go. So we've gone from previous, where low latency gaming wasn't ticked, to low latency gaming being ticked. So we've improved the connection, and we've done it to the point that it's going to be really good for gaming, and you're going to have a really good time, obviously, when it comes to playing games and that, because now you've got no more issues with connection. And as you can see, download active and upload active are completely zero. We're going to do the test again, because I know some people say, well, this went to 1. It did. Like I said, this is because of a web-based application, not generally because of the connection itself. But we're going to do the test again, just to show you that obviously it has not been a problem. I've not had any issues, and it does this. I can do this 5-6 times in a row, and I'll get the same result where I get 0 and 0. It's just the way that the web page is like. So, and sometimes you'll even get it where it'll do the download test and the upload test will not run. It's because it's done through a web-based connection, and it just causes so many issues and problems as well. Also, you'll notice as well your speeds will go up as well. This is purely because, like I said, the internet connection is resyncing, and it's basically increasing the speeds because it's now catching up with the connection itself. This is why I said you need to give it time for it to resync. Normally when an engineer comes and they usually say, give it about a week for it to stabilize. It's kind of the same thing. You've got to give it time to stabilize its connection. And there you go. Once again, low latency gaming. Again, like I said, there will be a little bit of variation. Again, one with it being a web-based application, the other one obviously due to the fact that you need to give it a bit of time for it to resync. As you can see, the speeds are changing a little bit and going up because it's resyncing. But there you go. That's how you fix your connection. And you get really low latency gaming. There you go. It's as easy as that. So all you need to do in order to fix it, obviously do that. Now, one of the caveats of doing this is, if I come here and show you, because as you all know, I'm not someone to bowl. I'm very, very brutally honest, and always will be. This will obviously affect certain things like speeds. So let me show you. I'm getting 900, but look at my speed. Now I'm on 1 gigabit internet, so I get 1 gig down, 1 gig up. Give it a moment for it to complete its test. This test is actually done correctly, from what I can see, judging off the other tests. And there you go. You can see I've got 190 download, 235 upload, which is about right connection, and then on 9 millisecond ping. So if you're on like a lower connection, you're not on a fiber optic 1 gigabit connection, just be aware that obviously when you do it, it will lower download and upload speeds. And if you're on a connection, obviously, and you're like me and you do live streaming and stuff, just be aware of that. Obviously, I've got more than enough upload speed to run a live stream. I run my streams at 1080 scaled up to 4K. So I generally output a upload speed of around about 35,000 upload kilobits per second to obviously send out the connection and everything. So I'm okay because I'm on a 1 gigabit connection. If you're not on a 1 gig connection, just be aware, obviously it will lower that speed. If you're not in it for like live streaming stuff and it's just for gaming, not a problem. You can obviously do that. So there you go. You can see how it's done on there. If you feel that you ever want to change it back, you can very, very easily do this. All you do is go back to the optimizer again and then bring it back up here. Again, make sure you right click and go into admin, unless obviously you've done what I've just showed you before, which is click on here, go to properties, and then do the security and change it to run as administrator. I've also gone onto it as well and pinned it here. If you want to know how to do that, all you basically do is go into where the download is here, you right click, and then if you don't see it here, this is Windows 11, just go to properties, not properties, sorry, go to show more options, and then it'll say pin to taskbar. As you can see, it says if I click it here, it'll unpin from taskbar. I'll show you. If I click it, it'll unpin it. And then you can pin to taskbar. Look, click it and it'll pin it to taskbar. So now if I close the application, it will actually be pinned to my taskbar, which you can see is here, look. And then I just click it, put yes, and it's always there when I need it. I don't have to go searching for it. Now, if you want to return it back to normal and you don't like the option, or you want the speeds back, maybe you want to just use it and then turn the speeds back, all you do is just click on Windows Default and apply changes, press OK, and this will now put your changes back to what they were before. It will ask you again to reboot, which you do need to reboot. I'm not going to do it this time, but it will put your speeds back to the normal of what they should be before. I've tested this, made sure definitely that it was going to do that before obviously talking about this. It does do that. I just can't be bothered to restart, come back again and do it. But yeah, actually, you know what? We'll do that just in case, just to show you. But yeah, I'll see you in a sec. I'll do it and then we'll come back. See you in just a mo. Right, we're back again. We're back. So all you need to do is, again, like I said, open the browser. I've reverted it back to normal. Go back to the speed test, and then refresh, open it again, go down to the bottom, test again. And you'll notice my speeds will go back up to what they were before. But you'll obviously see what the latency is like as well and how it performs. So you can see my speeds have gone back up to what they usually do. Again, like I said, you might get a little bit of fluctuation because the speed needs to catch up again. I normally get 9 gig and 9 gig with a variation of 30 to around about 30 odd is what it normally settles at, and then 900 and then 20 something for upload speed. As you can see what my speeds are, but look at my latency. Look, even sometimes my upload does jump to 1,000, but normally they settle around about 900 and odd, because I'm on what's called async speeds, and async is whatever you download is, your upload is on there. But there you go. Normally I get an A. I don't normally get a B, so that's the first time I've had a B. Again, like I said, either the browser or because the connection needs time to settle and then level itself out. You do need to let it rest and then obviously test, and then you'll get better results and stuff. Like I said, because of web-based, you could get a little bit of fluctuation, but look at my jitter, 40 and then 17. Again, not exactly correct, but when it settles, I normally get about 12, maybe 30 or 12, something around that region. I've not generally had it where it's been 30 and 30. That's one thing for sure. I normally get, like I said, a grade of A on there, but there you go. So if you want to fix your speeds, it's easy as that, and that's how you fix it. So there you go. That's how you do it. Easy as that. The other thing you can do, I probably won't suggest doing this right now, but I'm going to show you it anyway. And it's up to you if you want to obviously follow along with this part. So if I just move my webcam up just slightly so you can actually see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go to the bottom right here where it says Network Internet Access. Right click, and then you can open Network and Internet Settings, and then go to Advanced Network Settings, go to the Ethernet driver, and then you want to click on Edit here on Windows 11. And this is what I'm doing here. So what I've done here on this part is I've actually unticked everything other than the QoS and IPv4. If you do have anything that use IPv6, you can obviously tick it and leave it as it is. If you want to revert this back to normal, just tick every single one like this. That's it in the list. There's one that never applies, which is the this one here. It's the multiplexer protocol, this one. But if you want to tick them all, you can do. Press OK. You'll get a pop-up saying that the multiplexer can't be applied, so it wants to disable this. Just put yes, and then go back into it, and this is what yours will look like anyway. Make sure you update your Ethernet adapters as well, because you want to make sure that they're up to date as possible. And then, like I said, if you want to follow along, just remove them all apart from QoS and IPv4. Again, if you need IPv6, leave that ticked. If you don't, because it's not required for gaming, then you can cancel it off. Just make sure you always press OK. Otherwise, it will not apply those settings, and you'll get a little pop-up saying something about, do you want to ignore these changes? You want that not to pop up. If it does do that, put no. Make sure to OK it. Then go back into it so it pops up again like this. And then you can go to configure. And then just make sure power management. Just untick the top one. The others don't matter as long as they're grayed out. And then advanced, if you want to follow along here, this is what I normally use. So depending on what your driver is, mine's Realtek. You may be on Intel. You possibly may have certain things that are slightly different to mine. So just follow along with the ones I've got here. You may have to do a bit of research to see if there's anything else you would disable. But more or less everything here is disabled. But I'm going to run through it. So if you want to follow along, by all means, feel free to do so. So advanced EEE, disable. ARP offload, disable. EEE max support speed, put what your speed is. Mine is 1 gigabit. You can put top max speed if you wish to do that. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I'm going to put it back to top speed because I had it on top speed before. Energy Ethernet, turn it off, disable. Flow control, disable. Green gigabit light, disable. Green Ethernet, disable. Interrupt moderation, disabled. IPv checksum offload, disabled. Jumbo frame, disabled. Large send for IPv4 and 6 disabled. Network address, leave this as it is, not present. NS offload, leave as disabled. Power saving mode disabled. Priority in VLAN, I put this on priority enabled. Receive buffers, I've actually got it set to 16,384. I'm going to show you something you can do. Now, I don't recommend doing this if you are on less than 32 gigabytes for your memory, system memory RAM. You want it to be at least 32 gigabyte if you're going to do this, because this will store stuff onto your memory buffers, and you don't want to be doing that if you're on 16 gigabytes. It might overtake your PC and cause it to slow down horribly, or you may end up losing packets and all sorts of weird funky stuff going on. So keep this to whatever it is set before. I've had a look on ChatGPT, and generally they say to leave it either at 512 or 1024. So if you have only 16 gigabit, you want to maybe leave this at 512 or 1024, which is about one megabit. So it's up to you which one you want to try. This one is kind of like a hit and miss kind of situation where you kind of want to play around with it a little bit. Basically, what these do is they load the packets onto your memory. You receive loads of packet onto your memory to be dealt with, and then obviously your transmit deals with those packets again by putting it on the memory and then going through before it gets checked and then sent back out again. So obviously the higher you go, possibly might make it worse, but in some situations for me, I felt it made it better. I am on a pretty high-end system as well, so depending on what your system's like, you may want to play about with this. But generally, when I've checked with ChatGPT, or which I've done on here, which if you go on Opera GX, you can actually get it here on the left-hand side, up here. If you click on it and go to ChatGPT, you can actually ask it on here, and it's suggested 512 or 1024 being good for gaming. So choose between 512 1024 if you're on a much slower system, and do this for the receive and transmit buffers as well. You can have them the same, but generally they said that the transmit should be higher than your receive buffer. If you put 0 here, you'll notice that this one is 64 as a minimum. And you'll notice that the receive is 32. You can tell there's a difference. That's 32, that's 64. There's a difference between this of 32. Because if you add 32 on top of 32, that makes it 64. So if you add this as, say, for instance, 512, then you could go here to calc, grab out the calculator, and just say, okay, so that's 512. So if I put 512 and then add on top of that 32, then that would make it 544. So that should be 544 sort of thing. And then just press OK. There you go. It will disconnect your internet for just a moment and say not connected. It'll identify and then it'll reconnect. You can also put these, if you want to be at the same. So it's up to you. You try out what you feel is best and play around a bit with it. But if you want them to be the same, you can also choose the same for receive and transmit buffers. Again, this is based on how good your memory is on your PC and obviously how your PC performs in general. So play about with it a little bit. Try and find out where it is, where it kind of works for you. Kind of do a ping test or speed test and stuff. See how it goes, like ping based. I think this one mainly affects like your pinging games. So obviously the lower you can go for ping, you might get better ping times and stuff based on your connection. Obviously, it's not going to drastically change your ping if you're on a bad connection already, but it may improve it and may make it a bit more stable. So kind of play around with that a little bit and see how you go in terms of that. But ChatGPT said 512 or 1024 is best. You can go low if you want to. I've been all the way down to 32 and 64 to try that out. I've not had any issues with that. Again, you have to kind of play with it and then do a bit of testing and find out where it is best for you. But in general, they said 512 and 1024 are the two that you want to kind of be trying as for gaming. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Sorry, it is long-winded, but I like to go into detail. I don't like... Whoa, 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 Kappa of the past or future, whatever, or a few minutes ago. Whoa, you forgot something. I don't know. Sorry, guys, I actually forgot to show you how to actually change your buffers and actually make them go up to 16,384. This is something you can do if you want to. If you run a lower end system, you could also do this on there as well. Just don't go to the max of what it is, because again, like I've said in this video, it will have issues and it may end up making you lose packets or may make your memories go up too high and you'll have some weird effects go on with it. But if you want to be able to do that and have the free range of going up to 16,384, in the description, you'll see a line of code. I've actually got a saved document so I can actually remember it, because I probably won't remember it otherwise. And you basically just go here, and it's the regedit path text here that I've got. This will be in the description. All you basically do is run something called Registry editor, okay? Go into this, and then when you get the code, copy what it says. Excuse, I've got hiccups for some reason. Copy it, and then you want to go to Registry editor. I can't even speak now. And you want to delete this out and then paste in the new one, which will bring you here. It's going to bring you here. And then press enter. I've accidentally knocked something else out for some reason. Let's do that again. Control and V, and then press enter. It'll bring you here, which is basically where your Ethernet adapter options are, as you can see here. So for the receive and transmit buffers, there's only one thing you need to change. So first, let's go to receive. And all you want to do is go to where it says max. The only thing you need to change is that. Don't change anything else, just change your max. Double click on it and then put in the number 16,384. For some reason, when I did it with the ChatGPT, the new version, there's apparently a newer version, but you have to pay for it rather than the one that I've been using just a moment ago in the video. And it said something about using 8,000 and odd and then 16,384 as receive and transmit buffers. So I'm not too sure why it said that, but every time I've asked on the other one, it doesn't seem to request to say. It just says no, just use 512 1024. So the other one seems to be better. I did it from my mobile phone on an app for the ChatGPT because it's the newest version apparently of ChatGPT. So yeah, 16,384 is the max that you can go up to. So all you do is type it in here, put OK, and then you want to go down to where it says transmit. Again, go to where it says max, double click, put 16,384, press OK, and that's what you need to do. Just close this. Now restart your computer. I'm not going to do it this time, but if you restart the computer, then it'll do it, and then obviously continue with the video. Sorry, back to the other video. Bye for now. To do rubbish shite videos and just go, oh yeah, do this and this, and basically lie just for views. I don't do that. That's not me. That's not how I operate. So if you want to try it out, check it out and see if it helps you. Anyway, it is Convict signing out. As always, I salute you, my convicts, convict heads. Salute to my elites, those who pay for the $1.99 subscription here on YouTube to help out the channel and be an elite convict. Stay beautiful, stay you, and stay elite. Thank you very much for your continued patronage and paying the $1.99 per month to help support my channel. There's also a $4.99, but that is because of my already elites have asked for an extra option. So I've given them the extra option. So you choose whatever you like, either $1.99, $4.99, and you also can be an elite. You get access to emotes, badges, giveaways, and hopefully with that money as well, I want to do some charity work for autism and dementia in the future. So when we get enough people joining, that is something that we'll look into as well. Also helps me with all the background stuff and obviously to improve videos and bring new equipment in, like this Elgato face cam. Anyway, salute to you all. Thank you very much. And yeah, bye for now.